Welcome to Overtime the Podcast, a show dedicated to all things watches, with a special love for micro brands and their affordable range. I'm your host Praka, and some of you might know me as Kinda Average Watches. Join me as we explore new releases, share tips on building your collection, and put in some overtime with hands-on reviews of the latest watches. Whether you're a bit of a pro or you're just getting into the hobby, this podcast will keep you entertained with great stories from the people in the industry, casual conversations, and guest hosts who bring their own unique perspectives. Let's get started. Welcome to Overtime the Podcast, proudly sponsored by Watchpoint. All right, so we said we will be back. We did a part one. I feel like it's been ages, and we're back with part two. So this episode is called Cue the Track.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah, we're back with my good friend Paul. How you doing, mate?
Yo, good. Oh my God. I feel like we've been speaking about this follow-up episode for what seems like an eternity. And I've been really excited about jumping on here again, to be honest. Like so many stories to tell since. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. We sort of have had this list that we just continuously add to, and we've got our messenger chat, and what we've ended up doing, which is whatever ground our gears, or we just wrote what it was and then decided grind my gears, so that later on we can go back and search it up.
The search function in Facebook Messenger has never been better, and I hope Mark Zuckerberg's modeling our performance on the search function.
I've got a story or two about Zuck later on. My actually, so that is one of my grind my gears. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. All right, let's before we crack on with the episode. What's on your wrist, mate?
I am the proud owner of a basically new Laurier Olympia, and I'm so stoked with this thing. It's sized smaller than I would normally go, but geez, I tell you what, like they've really done a number on this watch, like in such a good way. It's the original series, but when I picked it up, there was still stickers on it, and we'll go through that. Oh my God, that story is such a good story. And anyway, that's what I'm wearing today.
Oh, it's such a story. And again, this is another thing which I've been itching to talk about in the podcast as well. It's such a good story about how you actually landed that watch in your wrist. But it's an awesome watch. It's great to see. I think I spoke about this watch before in the past in the pod when they first released it. It's awesome to see a automatic chronograph that's using this NE88 movement, which
Mm,
is
mm.
it's pretty high spec automatic chronograph movements. And for a micro brand to use them, I mean, because obviously we had all these issues with ST19, the Seagull chronograph movements, which
Yep,
were
yep.
being used by micros often, but then they increased their MOQ, minimum order quantity, and a lot of people looked, what else can we use? People went Solita, and Laurier went with the Seiko NE88, which I think was a great move.
Well, listen, you're the guy that talks about the details in the watches. I just buy the damn things. No, it's been a real treat. And to be honest, my eye wasn't really on the Olympia. I had been enamored by the Neptune for a long time. And listen, we'll get into the story later, but
Okay.
it is such a lovely, like, the thing that I've come to really like about watches is that when you look at a watch at a different angle and tells you a different story, but then also building on our last conversation when we spoke about grail pieces, like it has to evoke something, and this watch evokes a story which we'll go through. But yeah, anyway, that's what's on my wrist. What's on yours?
What's on mine? Mine, not much of a story behind it. I liked it and bought it. But so this is the Seiko Lord Marvel 3600 beat per hour. Sounds like a machine gun. Honestly, if you listen to it close enough, can you hear it tick? No, not quite.
Shh, shh, bring it closer.
Try.
I hear it.
There you go. Maybe the audience
Uh,
can hear it too.
anyway.
Anyway, it's an awesome little watch. 35 mil, but it's gold, and it just like gold plated, and it just wears really nicely on my smallish wrists. What's the story behind this watch? It is the second ever high beat movement created. First was GP, Show Perigro, and within a couple of months, Seiko had theirs. And yeah, it's just a beautiful watch with the old time, the 70s Seiko design just can't be beaten. It's just too nice, too good, too
Yeah,
clean.
yeah.
Yep.
It's a model that I've always look at when they come up for sale. And I think if this Laurier is anything to go by, and you'll know that like I'm always fearful of going into smaller dial watches, but I think I'm entering my
Mm,
era of smaller dial watches just by dabbling with this Laurier. And yeah, that those Marvels, Lord Marvels, yeah, yeah.
yep. Yep.
I
No.
watched them and I looked them and they up close. You sent me some close-ups the other day, and I was just like, geez, man, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Like, and I
Yeah.
said, like, they don't build them like they used to.
No, they sure don't. They sure don't.
Mm.
All right. Let's get on with the episode. I'm gonna let you kick off, mate, and I want you to tell me what grinds your gears.
I don't know where to start. A lot of things. So we started. I started my fascination for Jeannot, the brand, Ginault, whatever you want to call them. I joined the watch group, the international watch group, and these watch enthusiasts in that forum are like they're fanboys hard. I was like not bitterly disappointed, but to say that I had the watch for 1.5 days after I ordered it from overseas, from a seller through the forum overseas, and we'll get to that story later on. I was let down by it, I think. You know what it was? It was the AR coding and the loom, or the lack
Mm.
of loom on a diver that was meant to be replicating a higher end watch, to say the least. I don't want to sound like I was so disappointed. I really liked the case shape. It sat well on my arm and whatnot, but I think the hype was just it's an overhyped watch. I'm going to say it. Like it was supremely valued.
You sure?
It was supremely valued. And the construction, the feeling, the metal, the clicking of the bezel was like on point. The quick adjust on the bracelet, amazing. But you know what? When you're touting out to be like this watch that has it all,
Mm.
and you're a dive watch, and I'm out in the sun for like half an hour in direct UV light that I'm not even wearing my SPF on, and I come inside and you're not glowing brighter than some of the other watches in my collection. Sorry, man, it missed it. It
Mm.
really missed it, and it ground my gears, and you heard that to no end.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest. The loom was not the aspect that I thought it was going to lack, if I'm being honest. There's been plenty of videos, plenty of talk about this brand, about the controversies behind it, and how they started off as a super clone brand, blah blah blah, and then where they are now. But I did not think that they would, lack in the loom department, especially when you sort of see watches that are going for about 300 US dollars, San Martin, for example, that do fantastic
Mm,
loom on their
mm,
watches.
mm.
So it just doesn't make sense why cost cutting there would really be a smart idea.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, I don't know what Loom is worth, but at the end of the day, and if there's a difference between Super Luminova and BG9 and something else, yeah, that's where I was let down. And I think with the AR coding, or the sapphire with the anti-reflection, since our last episode, I managed to get my hands on a Planet Ocean, a 2010 original series Planet Ocean, and this thing like
A big boy.
well, it's 42 mil. I got the smaller version of the two, but this thing, like I can look at it from any angle, and it's almost like I can't see the sapphire crystal. Like I can't see it. And I don't know how they did it. I don't know what they do, but it is like I was talking about the angles of the
Mm.
Laurier before. This is at the same thing, same but different. I love looking at it. And the loom on this guy it's second to the turtle. Who that's my opinion
That's the
is
king. That's the
the
king.
king, the king, the king of loom is the turtle, and it's debatable, but in my watch case, uh,
Sure.
that's got the brightest loom, but that you almost can't tell the difference. And this Planet Ocean is, 15 years old and shining. You can see it from. I'm surprised you couldn't see it from your side of the country, Praka. Where was I going with it? Yeah, so loom on this thing,
Hmm.
an anti-reflection, and then I don't know,
They're,
fanboying on it. But
they're an interesting brand. Look, I don't think they're super popular in Australia, especially in the forums. But they do seem to have their fans, like you say, in other parts of the world. I would be curious though. Maybe is it, is it just the model that you had? Was there other models which are better? Who knows?
I don't know. And I almost was tempted to go down the trail, lucky of finding out whether it was my watch or not. Lucky this Laurier came up. I'll just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, glad you went that way. All right. Okay. Well, I guess it was a good start. It was a good start, and something that's been grinding your gears. So I'll go into one. I'm not gonna go in order. Actually, no, I will. I'll start off with Zelos. It's not the brand Zelos. Don't get me wrong. I like Zelos. I like what they do. They do some awesome watches. In fact, yesterday I handled two. I think it was a Swordfish and an Aurora, and there's cool watches. I think I sent a photo close up of the dial of the purple watch. Fantastic looking watch, right? Can't go wrong. As a micro brand, they've set up their business model well, and they know what they're doing. They drop limited releases. Their fans love it, and the fans
The
is
fans love it.
fans
The
love it.
fans, the fans really love it.
They
Tell us,
do.
Prakat. Tell us, Prakat. Tell us what really grinds your gears about Zelos.
It's the fans. I mean, it's the group. It's the group around itself. I mean, like I've spoken about this before with Justin, and in the past, he was a big fan of Zelos, but he didn't like the group, or he didn't really like. Not to say he didn't like the group, but he didn't like certain aspects of the group, and this is. I'm coming around to because they've just released the newest model, which is the Zelos Hammerhead. Well, a new run, eh? The latest version of the Hammerhead.
Hammerhead diver. Yeah, is that the
Yeah,
44 mil
the
one that they've got up?
44 mil one, right?
Big boy. Yeah,
Big boy, right?
looks small on my wrist.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure it's the Hammerhead. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So they've got and they've got a Mosaic Mop DLC, which looks absolutely crazy. This is the version 3, and then they've also got this granite one. Again, looks really cool, looks
Yep.
crazy. And 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 this happens all the time. And to be honest, I haven't really focused on that forum much at all because I'm not, I just don't. I like Zelos as a brand, but I think majority of their stuff doesn't really like sort of speak to me. And I have
Mm.
many dive watches, and they do have other stuff as well. But I just, great to look at, but maybe I won't own it. But recently, I was curious about this hammerhead, especially because a friend of the show, James, he got one in for review. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna go in check it out. And of course, the chatter is always about, oh, well, what's happened to Zelos? They haven't sold out. I would have expected this to have sold out immediately, and it didn't happen. And oh, they've and then on the flip side, it's like, well, he's making more pieces now, so it's not going to sell out. And then there's like guys who take screenshots of
How many
they
stock they've got
yeah,
left?
yeah. So
Oh,
it's
I hate
they
that.
they add
Yeah.
they add like 50 or 40 or whatever up until its maximum, and they add it to cart, and then they go, okay, cool. Here's how much is left. They've managed to game the system to figure this out. Why does it matter if the watch sells out or doesn't sell out or whatever it is? I was talking to this. Look, I would have dropped the episode already by then when this episode drops, so I can talk about it. I was talking to RZ's co-CEO slash marketing manager, Hui, and he said this one thing which I thought was really true, and I think a lot of us watch enthusiasts don't get it, is that the intersection of, I guess the group of people of watch enthusiasts that actually buy these watches is not the numbers that we think it is.
Right.
Okay? This put it like Seiko might release a limited edition of 1,000 watches, and then they might sell some of them, all of them, don't know.
Right.
But a micro brand, there's all this. There's not only is it the number of watches that you think that brand's going to sell. The expectation, I guess, needs to be tempered. We're not talking crazy numbers here. We're not talking like a Casio F91W that sells 1 million watches a year or something. It's
Yep.
a different level. There's levels to this. And not only that, the same person, the same enthusiast that might be buying the Zelos, it's also looking at Trasker. It's also looking at Laurier. They're looking at all these different brands. Every single brand's competing for your money, right?
Do you think do you think this is sort of and I noticed a post
Mm,
the other day in relation to a chap that was starting his or trying to start out a micro brand. Do you think
sure.
the space is becoming a little bit saturated in the minor micro brand space? Because you
Mm,
can almost tier out like if
yeah.
you
Mm,
considered Christopher Ward once as a micro brand
yeah.
and went down from not down, but within that category,
Yeah.
is there more or less?
Oh, look, I definitely think there's more brands popping up, and there's this like literally every other day, there's a new brand starting up. But there's
Mm,
also new brands starting up which are a quality offering with a point of difference and design that is different, quality
yep,
materials.
yep.
But then there's also the other end, which is I'm just going to take a stock standard SKX case look-alike thing and change the stuff on the dial, slap my brand name on it, and here's my brand
And
name.
away you go.
And away you
Yep.
go. And I've seen the spectrum on the Facebook forums, League of Microbrands, for example, and there's other microbrand forums around. But anyway, I guess what really annoyed me was like it doesn't matter. Like it was almost like a badge of honor for Zelos owners in the past, or again, I'm maybe I'm stereotyping, but this is just from what I read and the things. It felt like if it didn't sell out, it's like, oh well, this is not the piece I should have bought because
Mm,
it's not unique. It's not like that limited edition. No one else can get this anymore. I don't, it's nothing to me now. Not nothing, but what I mean, it's not as cool now. And I don't think people should look at it that way. I think you should look at it as I bought this watch because I want to enjoy this watch and I want to own this watch, not because of how limited it is or how exclusive it is that makes it any better or worse. Anyway, that was mine opener.
yeah. Look, I left the Zelos group a long time ago because I had
Oh.
a black tip. I actually bought it from the chap that you just mentioned before, who now has a black tip after he sold me the black tip, and he's always been on the black tip train. And, and I just found it really odd. Not odd, but like when I first posted, like, oh, look what what's on your wrist kind of thing. But then when I sold it, I had about 30 comments of the king. Like it was the king of Zelos at the time. And I thought these are the guys that would they're lovely guys. But
Oh,
yeah, nah. And looking at this hammerhead, I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's divisive. It's not that.
ah,
It's a taste. It's a
yeah,
taste. And it's not I'm a you know me, I'm a
yeah,
basic guy. Like they don't
yeah,
speak to my taste, so I'm definitely not gonna look for it.
yeah,
But that said, I was speaking to you the other day. Like thinking of getting into a swordfish. But anyway, that's another
yeah,
conversation.
yeah. But before we move on from this, I'll just say one thing. I checked out the Zelos Thresher, which is a 44 mil diver ember, and it was awesome. It was built beautifully, like really well. It was heavyweight, massive, too big for my wrist. I've just dropped it in the chat, in the Zoom chat. If you just
Gotcha.
little thing and check it out. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. Wow.
This was like really well built, like, and yeah, I mean, it's got everything, right? It's got your micro adjust. The loom is absolutely mental. It's crazy. And it's unique design it's not a copy and paste or anything. It's slightly different
Totally.
Miota 9 series movement as well. So you're getting good movement. And considering how big the watch was, it was actually quite thin. It was only 13 mil.
Nice,
13.9 mil thick with the crystal. So,
nice. Yep.
yeah, yeah, big boy, but it was good. Yeah, ceramic bezel. Oh, it's got everything. Anyway, so this is not, don't come at me. I'll do like Zelos. I'm just saying, I just think appreciate the watch you've got and for not for the fact that it's a limited edition. It's cool. It's cool that it's unique and can be limited edition, but don't make it that the whole, you know,
Can I give you a fresh
I mean,
grind my gear?
yeah,
The
go on.
gear that my you know what's and listen, I'm sorry, everyone's got their own taste. You know what? I want to know who's the guy that decides which cities go on the rotating bezel and why did you choose these cities? And like actually this leads into one of my other grinds, which is watches that try to do everything, but they're not. Sorry, man. Like I hate to be a bit of a purist here and try and sort of, define what is and what isn't. But this thresher, it doesn't need a bezel with friggin' every city under the in the solar system. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
nah, it just it, nah, doesn't go.
yeah, yeah. No, I thought you were going to bring that up. But yes, look, who decides? Who knows? I'm looking at an article right now with the, with all the different world cities and yeah, I mean, you've got, yeah, I mean, Alaska. I mean, yeah. Anyway, there's many random cities all around it. But yes, maybe there is a committee somewhere. They just decide.
It's a bullshit committee because like I there was that wool brock I sent you the other day, lovely
Yeah,
watch.
yeah,
But then I'm looking at the cities and I'm like, okay, Moscow,
yeah,
Los Angeles, Denver, Chicago, New York,
yeah,
San Juan. It's like,
yeah.
why do you have one international city, four American cities, and then you switch it across?
Mm,
Whatever. Like, anyway,
mm.
no offense to the North
Whoever's in
American
those cities.
audience.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah.
So,
And maybe they're an American brand, so that's what they're going for, right?
maybe that's what it
Are they an
is.
American brand? I don't even know. Walbrook. I thought they were French.
Don't know. Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Yeah. 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 I don't even know where they're from, but anyway, but that watch does look pretty good actually.
Yeah, no, and I actually really enjoy the look of their skin diver with the what do you call it with the crown on
Mm.
the 9 o'clock
Mm.
marker, which sorry to take over again, is another what grinds my gears. Who in God's green earth puts a crown at 10 p.m.? What the actual? Sorry, you can talk to me to the cows come home. And also, crowns at I think unless you're what is it, left-handed, right-handed,
Uh-huh.
whatever it is, the crown should either be at 3, 4, or 9. Sorry, I hate to be like this, come off as this like boomer that's telling you what to do, but what the hell is with crowns at anything other than those, especially at 10, especially at 7 or 7.5, whatever it is. I don't know. Like what really sort of got me on this one, and I'm sorry I'm taking over your podcast, Praka, but
Please.
but it was the Albisch Horn Type
Mm.
10. I mean, I get it, but who the hell is going to set the time from that 10 o'clock bezel? There's this other watch that I don't even know how it came across my channels, but this is so cool. It's cool that I hate it at the same time. It was the Kaventsman Hadal 2. This thing is bigger than, I don't know, bigger than Texas, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also like, so I went to their Instagram
Oh yeah, this
channel.
big,
It's
big
like a monoblock,
bronze. Yeah.
right?
Mm,
It's
mm.
this big like bronze case, and it's like it would dwarf even my wrist. And then I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, who the hell would wear it? Also, why is the crown at 10 o'clock? Who puts the crown there? That being said, it is the coolest Instagram page insofar as watchmaking is concerned because they show the construction of the watch from start to finish. And I've spent more time on this particular Instagram page
Yeah.
looking at how the watch is crafted and put together that actually helps me appreciate the watch just a little bit. So I feel reluctant
Yeah.
in sort of saying,
You don't like it or
what a
whatever.
shitty watch, but actually, like, it's really cool how it's made. And I don't know if anyone's in that divers forum, but there's a chap that had one on the other day, and I thought, wow, someone's actually bought one for 5 grand.
Sure, wow.
So
Yeah. That's
um,
epic. Yeah. Yeah. That's
epic, really epic. But I thought the construction, I think the story of watchmaking is really cool, and I think
mm.
that's probably where my interest lies more so than this watch. No offense to people that are into the Caventsman watches.
So I want to just go back to the Albus Albershorn. I actually did listen to a podcast where the owner, the watchmaker of Albershon came and talked, and he was a very interesting man. And he has developed his own movements through his time working with JLC and all these other people who think JLC. And he's got patterns on various different types of complications and stuff as well. So the watch itself, technology, fantastic. Just don't put the. I actually, you know, I'm gonna counter that, mate. It is a chronograph, right? Isn't it? Wait, is it a chronograph pusher that's at the 10? No, it's the actual crown.
No, it's the
Yeah, okay.
crown.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
weird.
crown.
That's
It's
weird.
the crown.
That's weird. Uh,
Um,
uh,
like I kind of get it. I don't know. I think I've just been, what's the word for it? I just expect to see the crown in a certain position.
yeah. Yeah.
And not
The,
everyone's like
the,
me.
the, the 10 the 10 is odd. 10 o'clock is an odd spot. I'll give you that. But you've got your Omega helium escape valves up on top of the 10, right? But you're not actually like changing time on it and stuff. Yeah.
Who, as a person who owns a watch with an Omega helium escape valve, are you trying to insult me? But no, I see what you're saying. It's a non-functional crown at the end of the day
Yeah.
because I'm not going to depths of 600 meters that would evoke having to use
Mm.
the helium escape valve. But
It's-
yeah, I see your point. Shut up.
Yeah. I did check out these the Citizen Pro Masters which have the crown at 7,
7.
which also kind of like I wasn't quite used to it when I was like changing the time, etc. And I was like, oh, I like it. I like the look of it, but I don't know if I would sort of, yeah, I'll get her, I'll eventually figure it out. But yeah. All right,
Oh, yep.
go, go. What's up?
Your turn. No, no,
My
no,
turn, my
no.
turn.
Your turn.
I feel like I'm just started off in a pretty negative vibe. So I'm gonna go and talk about more negative vibes with with another.
We're talking about grinding gears.
I know. So this brand, oh, look, maybe I'll go and talk about the brand itself, and I'll and then I may or may not talk about give away the name. So this is an Australian brand. So I'll put it out there. It's an Australian brand. It's not a very well known brand from around the circles, from my understanding. My first experience with this brand is when they reached out quite a while ago, asking whether I'll be interested in checking out their watch and to basically write a review, talk about them and give them a glowing review without saying so much. I politely declined. I wasn't interested in the watch. It wasn't really my cup of tea. I politely declined, and also they asked, what do you think about the watch? Tell us blah blah from the photos, and I gave them some feedback. I said, hey, look, I don't really see this as being any different to many other watches out there, and
Does it look more like a homage? Is
it
it
sure
homage?
sure does very very much an AliExpress printed like as in like you just go to someone and say, hey, put my logo on it,
Yeah,
get the colors
yeah.
and what I want, and then and I'm gonna make all these different dial colors and call it a day. And and I said as much, which is fine. And I think where it went from there was then there was all these fake accounts that were clearly fake. They were set up and they were talking about how great those watches were and all that. And I was a bit suspicious as well around the sort of marketing around it. And they were deleting comments that they were disagreed with as well. That people said stuff, feedback, which again is I feel like it's a bit of a no-no. I mean, if you're being, if you're being, how do you say it, like Yelp bombarded or something, you know what I'm saying? If you're being like review bombed or something, then fine. But this didn't feel that way. This was people's genuine sort of feedback, and then just start deleting it. And then also there was a person who asked for feedback on these watches, like, "Hey, I like the look of these watches. What do people think about it?" And people gave their constructive feedback and say, "Hey, look, for this money of what you're getting and the designs and stuff, we don't think it's worth it." And I said the same. Someone else said the same. And long and behold, the post was deleted in the forum. Like no, it was gone, and it wasn't. And it was in AAWF, right? It was in our our sort of affordable Australian watch forum, and that has happened not once but twice. And suspiciously, the names and the people who post it are new accounts, and it was almost to like viral marketing, drumming up support. And when someone says something not so great about it, they just delete it. So, you know, and and also when I turned them down, they weren't
They didn't
very.
want to be your friend anyway. Like,
No, no, exactly. They got funny with me, and look, people that know me, and I try and be fair with with most things, even if it's stuff that I've handled, and always try and get the to look at the good in things, no matter what
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
I just couldn't,
You're almost too honest sometimes. I know you well. Nah, like I mean, having spoken about this particular brand, like
mm,
I mean, I question everything, right? You know, I'm a pretty
sure.
skeptical
Mm,
person,
yeah,
and I copped some of their Instagram ads the other day, and I just watched them out of stupidity because I'm only going to get marketed more.
sure.
But it's just like it's like, did you ever watch Russell Coight?
Yeah, yeah,
There's this guy and he's trying to flog one of the watches, and he just reminds me of Russell Coight. And I just thought, how funny would it be if Russell Coight actually sold this watch? I think it would be a good marketing thing. And like just how they were selling it, I was just watching in amazement. It's like I haven't seen in insofar as how watch brands sell and market. I haven't seen anything quite like it. Not that it's controversial, but it appeals to a demographic, and I don't get a good vibe from it.
no,
Yeah,
and some of these, prices, they're not cheap.
$1,000, man. What the hell? Like, who's yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, for an homage brand, no problem.
yeah, I just don't think the value is there, and like I said, that it's. I mean, who am I to say someone else might really like this watch, but I just don't like the way it's been gone about, and frankly speaking, I just don't think that's the way you should go about it. As in, like, let your watch tell the story, and let put photos behind it, and go from there. But this whole fake comments, and fake, like, oh, what do people think about it? And then almost immediately as soon as someone posts it, there's a person talking about how good it is right under. I'm like, yeah, this is not sus at all. Like, come on. Like, and it's happened not once, but multiple times over the last 3 years, I'm saying. Yeah, probably around last 3 years. Yeah, roughly. But anyway,
It's made for the Australian conditions, as
yeah,
as they may have said. Anyway.
uh, don't sue me. All right. Uh, you go.
Uh, Geez, let's look through. Geez, there was a few sales in the last little bit, and we're talking about selling watches, right?
Mm, mm.
And the quote will be for sale, the only one under, if the watch is $1,000, the only one under $1,000 at $999. Like, come on, give me a break. And I'm going to splice this into a bit of a cool dude and bad dude thing experience within the forums. Like I sometimes there's guys that are obviously running a business, sort of, but there are also enthusiasts. I think there's a level of respect that you've got to give to to the seller and to the buyer, whether they're an enthusiast or not. And I don't like when I'm being taken advantage of. For example, I put up a SB SPB, what was it, 383, whatever it is,
143.
143. No, no, what, not 143. It was the
Oh
GMT.
yeah, Jim.
Yeah,
3838
three
something. Yeah.
three 383 385 383J. Yeah. And there were some ridiculous offers that I got. And those that know me, those that have traded with me before, know I'm a reasonable person, know that I put up a price, not expecting to get that price, but to invite good conversation.
Hmm.
And there are some approaches that I've had in the last little while that have just been, I'm going to say, an insult, and I would never call anyone out to it. But I think in these forums, like, if if you just want to experience the watch for the sake of experiencing a watch, sure, let's negotiate. But there was one response that I got which was along the lines of, well, I'm only going to have it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't want to lose too much money on it, so I'm going to offer you. And this is what my first and final offer is going to be: take it or leave it. And it's it's kind of like, yeah, sure, I see where you're coming from, but that's just a bad experience.
Hmm.
On the plus side, you get, yeah, like, well, sorry, I should get back to my gear grinding, which is, why are you going to price that watch $1 under what it's currently trading at in other markets, or whatever? Like, I don't know. You tell me, Praka, is that a sales tactic, or is that like, because it does
Yeah.
my nut in, it does my head in
It,
to no end.
it is a sales tactic. I, I think there's actually a psychology behind it. If you sell something for $1,000 or you sell something for 999, people are gonna, your eyes are gonna immediately go to 999 as opposed to 1,000. And it's
Yep.
very much the same with, if $700 watch, no, you put 699, people are gonna go to that and said, don't ask me why, but that's a psychology thing. I think that's where that is come from. But to say, yeah, this is the only one under X value and then being $1 under, which is, yeah, I think I think it's a bit like disingenuous, but it's a sales tactic, right? If it works for them, great. If it doesn't, then grow. But I want to talk about your second bit about, just basically taking the piss. You, you are going to experience that, I think, and that happens often with Marketplace, I find, and Gumtree and those kind of places. So that's for the American listeners, Craigslist and that type of places. You're always going to have people just shooting their shot, trying their luck, and I've had plenty. And to be honest, a lot of times, watches or other stuff, I just ignore them. I just don't even respond. If it's something which is insulting, I just don't even respond. It shouldn't
I
be
guess you're
that way.
right.
It shouldn't be that
Yeah,
way.
it
But
shouldn't be that way. Shouldn't be that.
especially because you've advertised in our enthusiast forum. I feel like Marketplace and Gumtree and stuff can get a bit of a pass because these are
Bit of the Wild
gen
West.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wild West, exactly. Whereas in the enthusiast forums, you're like, come on, man. Like, the value of this watch. You can see people selling it, buying it. Even if you don't, like, that I'm giving you this value. Let's talk. Don't come in here with that. Don't
Yeah.
offer me a half a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. It's not fun, and it's yeah. But I think selling in general has become a little bit harder. I think probably due to the market, and people are just itching for a bargain.
Yeah. I have noticed that too.
Mm, mm. All right. Okay. Gosh, I I feel so negative today, but that's what this whole
That's
episode is about.
that's what we can feel happy about being so negative. Like
Yeah. All right.
we ended on a
Let's
good note, don't worry.
all right, let's go then. Let's go. This is to do with watch influencers. Now, look, it's a bit rich coming from someone who's in this space. I'm not calling myself a watch influencer by any means, but is this in a small scale between the podcasts and the Instagrams and stuff like that? People look at the posts of the watches, and there is a level of, oh, this person's posting this stuff. There's a level of credibility or perceived credibility, I must say, that comes from it. But I think there's circles of sort of watch influencing, etc. And I guess like where every brand and this is probably more Instagram than say the podcast side, where every and any brand, any watch that comes out is like the best thing since sliced bread. It's really exhausting. Like it's really exhausting, and frankly, it's very disingenuous, especially if you've got a big level of followers, big level of people that are looking at your words and thinking, "Oh wow, this must be great because this person is saying this watch is the best thing since sliced bread." Like I'm like I said, I don't want to highlight necessarily all the bad things in a watch, but I'll tell you what I like, and that's and then everything else, you fill in the gaps. There are many YouTubers and out there that their content is very much focused on I want to show the negatives, and that's completely fine too. And I actually enjoy watching that kind of stuff sometimes,
Mm.
just to get around that. But yeah, I said I might not be overly negative or negative when I speak about brands, but that's okay because, like I said, most of the times I like to highlight what I do like. But honestly, some of the stuff that's just like being said about some of the things is it's just not great. And like I said, it's exhausting. It's just like okay, cool, like another brand that doesn't really offer anything different or cool, and it's like, yeah, it's the best thing since sliced bread. So anyway, that's my gears. That grinds my gears a lot, and that's and especially because I see it all the time on Instagram.
And
Yeah.
and I suppose within your side
Mm.
of the space, like because you're such an important influencer in the watch market, that you get up close and personal with some of these guys and gals. I see where you're coming from. I think you shared something to me the other day. What was it? It was that awkwardly shaped watch, and
Oh
like
yeah,
I read the
yeah.
caption of it. I was like, I can't make and I said to you, is this like modeled off a Formula One track? And then I looked up the website and I was like, no, it's not modeled off a Formula One track. It's got nothing to do with racing. It's just a weird shaped watch.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, nah,
It,
man,
it's fine, people that's people's cup of tea. It's not people's cup of tea, but
don't be nice, man. It wasn't a nice watch.
no, no, I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like it. I did. So I was like, this is odd. This is really weird. It's not great. But yeah, and then I guess it's a
Ah,
formula, isn't it? It's like a formula where a watch comes out before the watch comes out. There's the hype around it and everything, and I think that's good. I feel like we need that, especially because the watch, like I said, the watch enthusiast group is big, but the actual watch buying clientele is not as big. So
yep.
having exposure to the people that are checking out on Instagram, looking through is awesome. So that level of marketing and stuff is great. But sometimes I would just like to people to just stop and think, maybe this isn't that great, and maybe we shouldn't quite put that much emphasis and value about how great this thing is in front of us. But anyway, people probably going to come at me for that and say, "Well,
Nah,
Praka,
man. Nah,
you do
man.
you do the same
I'm
you
gonna
do the
back
same
you.
thing."
I'm gonna back you, bro. I'm gonna see your complaints, and you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna get onto my next grinding gear, and I'm gonna say it. Like, so some artisans de Genevieve
Oh yeah, yeah.
released this custom classic, and it is freaking gorgeous. Like, don't get me wrong, it's gorgeous. But how many times you see a post for sale in one of the forums with an iced out I don't know, something. And the comment section is rife on why would you do that to a watch? Why would you devalue the watch? Why would you do that to a watch? And then everyone is right. The comment section on this ruby studded Rolex Daytona, gorgeous, like it's gorgeous. But everyone was just fawning over it, like honestly drooling over this watch, this iced out, modified Rolex. And to your point, it's everything that you said about, everything always needs to be so amazing and whatever. It's just like, all right, well, people do sell or people do buy iced out watches. Like it happens. Obviously, there's a market for it. Otherwise, they just wouldn't exist.
Mm.
And to your point, it's a situation of all right, well, maybe just call it as it is. It's a modded Rolex Daytona.
Yeah. Yep.
And when you see another modded Rolex Daytona that didn't come out of,
Artisan de Genève. Yeah.
you know, you know, doesn't need to be called as a piece of crap watch
Yeah.
just because it's been modified in a way that isn't to your taste.
No, what actually that's a fantastic point because it's like who made this watch and what the brand is and who picks it up is what makes the
The
narrative
watch,
around
yep,
it, like whether it's a positive narrative or a negative or not as positive. So I mean, we see this all the time, right? We see micro brands that do a certain, I mean, I'm going to go and say, okay, Stone Dials, for example. Okay.
yep,
So this is kind of linked to what so the Stone Dials, there are many brands out there that are doing Stone Dials right now and micro brands sort of thing. Baltic's doing it, just off the top of my head. I mean, I spoke to Lawson recently who are doing it now as well. Dennison. I mean, there's just so many
so much
brands
of
that
it,
are
yep,
doing it.
yep.
And that is cool. That's the trend now, and it looks good, and people are executing it differently in different ways, and it's awesome. But why do some brands get put on this pedestal to being like this stone dial, amazing,
Well, I
something almost as good, if not, is not. It doesn't get that limelight. So
yeah,
like it's
yeah.
kind of the same. Like I mean, similar fashion.
Well, you we were talking about the Zelos fanboys before,
Mm,
and what do we know about Zelos is that they were probably at the not the forefront, but they were, to say it in a not so, I can't think of a way to say it, the forefront of releasing interesting dials on watches.
mm,
And whether it was fully loomed, and not fully loomed, I feel like they were on the purple sunburst dial train
mm,
a while before anyone else picked up on it. And when they do more of the same thing with their new lines, when there's a market that's, caught up, maybe that's the reason why the watches don't sell out as quick as they used to. So I don't know. I don't know if that sort of points to,
maybe not. But look, yeah, I get your point though. I think it looks awesome. Like it looks like a piece of art. But yeah, why is this? I guess because the website looks really cool and you can scroll through it and you can see these people in white lab coats placing
do you reckon they're
gemstones.
really in white lab coats placing gemstones? Like I've seen the guys on down in the Diamond District in New York. They're not even wearing those little finger glove things.
No, but anyway, it's how you spin it, right? It's how you spin
Yeah,
it.
true, true, true,
Yeah.
true.
All right. Awesome. Oh man, this is more. I feel very, like I said, I keep coming back to this, but I feel very negative today. But you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna jump back, and because we're talking forums anyway, I'm gonna talk forums. Um, QC, quality, all this stuff, right? I mean, look, I'm wearing Seiko, albeit vintage Seiko, more modern Seiko, gets bashed. They get absolutely bashed about QC issues, right? They always get
Yep,
bashed and say, oh, Seiko. QC issues occur with any brand, whether that be a Seiko, a Tudor, an Omega, Breitling,
Rolex. Yep,
Rolex. They all have QC issues. That said,
preach.
do we accept, should we accept QC issues, whether the watch is $1,000, $5,000, $10,000? If you went and bought a watch with your hard-earned money. And I'm talking about QC issues that are obvious QC issues, not like, not like, oh, look, if I'm looking at it with a 10 times magnification loop, I can see that the indice is,
Is
point
the
0.1 degree out or something like that.
Nah, I get you. And I know we spoke about this the other day
Yeah.
in that post.
Yeah.
I, I think there is a feeling that watches evoke in a person,
Mm.
and it's a stage of life thing. And like I said earlier with this Laurier, like it's the story behind this watch that makes the watch in a way, and the experience in with that chap that picked up that watch with an
Mm.
obvious issue, two issues.
Mm.
Nah, man, like I went back to JB Hi-Fi last week, 3 days after I bought the product that I bought. That was 200 odd bucks. That and they sorted me out straight away. So nah, watches are a feeling, I'd say, in our space. And for people that are listening to the podcast, watches are a feeling. And when, something goes wrong, unless it's bought that way, unless you've got a pumpkin patina dial, whatever the hell, or a spider dial, which that does my head in. But if it's out of the factory, I was thinking about that that post the other day, and I thought, what would Jody do? And not to sort of name names, but I reckon that guy would probably fly to his factories, pick up the correct watch, check it, and hand deliver it to you if you had a quality control issue. I think, and I think that's how, by the sounds of that post, that's how it was being handled by the reseller.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And that's to say, I mean, yes, Jody, I have no doubts of their QC response, and there's many other micro brands to do the same as well. I mean, Zelos, for example, I was talking to a mate yesterday about his Zelos, and he mentioned that there was a slight issue with his clasp or something like that, and immediately he contacted them. There was no like, oh, send us the watch back or send us. It was like, here's a new clasp. There you go.
Yep. And you know what?
Mm,
Like to jump on that, considering I bought a used Omega that is 15 years old, it I needed another link. I think one of the links had gone missing.
mm.
And thank God to the forums, one dude told me to go into the boutique, and then they treated me like I just purchased a brand new watch from their store. It was such a good experience. And the lady that served me said to me, your wrist is going to swell up in the hotter months. I want you to come back so I can so I can add another link back or whatever it was. It was because I needed a half link and I can't remember, but it was like such a good experience. And I didn't think that was going to happen when I
That's
when when I needed that extra link.
There you go. So it's just so it is out there, right? And I guess the I didn't even get to what grind my gears about the whole process. I mean, yeah, it's not the quality issue that grinds my gears. I'm
Eh,
just saying that every brand has QC issues, and just because it's not some high level brand or whatever, doesn't mean that the issue can be easily be dismissed. And that's what happened in that particular forum.
yeah.
And really, I was, I don't like sort of, I guess, adding drama, adding fuel to fire, but I think, I want to put it out there that that's not okay. It is not okay to dismiss someone's concerns about a watch that they spent their good hard-earned money buying it brand new
Hmm.
from the brand. Just want to make that important distinction. If you go ahead and you buy a secondhand watch from someone else, you've taken all the photos and all the videos, and you come in and you notice something in a month's time or whatever, buyer beware and all that kind of stuff. Of course, there's negotiations that can happen after, but brand new from the brand. And this person who's bought this watch was to, I think it was to commemorate their something. It was some sort of special event. So
It was.
yeah, it would really bug me. Yeah,
And yeah, not to, because I think people would be able to deduce.
oh yeah, yeah,
It was it like I could sense his enthusiasm. I could
yes,
sense his vibe
yeah,
through his posts, through his
yeah,
comments, and in some of the other comments that were left by other group members that weren't as favorable to his
Mm.
circumstance. It was just like, man, we're gonna be a dick. Not him, like
Other
the
people,
other
I know, I
guys.
know, I know. Yeah, and to put that one to end that one and to move on to the next one is, I think just yeah, be nice. I know this,
Be nice.
you know,
Well, it comes. What was I saying? Like, you want to be a dude, right?
yeah,
It's a good environment for the enthusiasts, right?
yeah, yeah. We should support like each other and be like yeah, like that sounds bad. Hopefully get sorted. You may not necessarily agree with it, but hey, don't don't don't. What's that? What are the youngins call it? Don't yuck.
Don't
Don't
yuck
yuck
my
my
yum.
don't yuck my yum. That's it,
My daughter
bro.
says it all the time. Or no, my wife says it to my daughters all the time. Um,
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. What have we got?
the last one that I've got is my low key grind. This is my last one. My low key grind is Casio's new model and the use of the NH35. When I believe that watch is retailing for what isn't it $1,000 or close to?
Hmm. Oh, I don't think it's 1,000, but yeah, it's not cheap.
Oh no, excuse me, it's $500.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, lovely watch, and I think it'd do well. I think it's probably already doing well, but I don't know. On one side of me, it was like Casio with an NH35 movement, could have done better. But the more I thought about it, I thought, well, actually, isn't it true to form? Like Casio are a durable. When you think of Casio watches, you think of durability, right? Go do anything with it. And then they add to their edifice line an NH35 in their first or whatever automatic watch. Maybe it's synonymous with durability. What do you
Hmm.
think?
I think it. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what I said in the past, trying to be consistent. I may be inconsistent, so whoops. Yeah, look, I like it. I still like it,
Hmm.
and I know the whole thing about NH35, but the reason why brands use it is because it's a reliable, robust movement.
It's a
It's
workhorse.
it's, it's a
It's durable.
Yeah, exactly. So I think yeah, people can say $500, we expect a little bit better. Or I even saw comments like, oh, Casio should have put in developed their own
Develop
automatic
them own.
movement.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I don't think that. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Like, Casio is famous for their digital watches, their modules, and all sort of stuff. And this was history, right? And I was
Mm.
talking to CJ, Watch Out 24/7 on Instagram. Shout out to him, and he was so excited because Casio is his like is his brand that he's grown up with and he
Yeah.
loves Casios. And the fact that they did this automatic watch, it's like it's history for him. And I think if I remember, he's going to buy one to use and he's going to buy one to just keep and just don't touch
Right.
because that's like it's history for him. And I completely get that. And yeah, I don't understand those comments about yeah, they should have tried to develop their own movement.
Likewise.
Yeah, I don't think so. But it is interesting. I think I read something that I'm probably repeating stuff I've already said before, but that they bought up a lot of the NH35s in the market or in the spot market NH35s from Seiko. So other smaller micro brands with
Brands. Yeah.
with smaller minimum order quantities might struggle to secure
Wow. That's
NH35s.
so interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
That's politics.
yeah.
It's
But
watch market politics.
yeah, it was pretty cool though. So that means obviously they're making quite a bit to be able to command that sort of stuff. So yeah, nice. Okay, that was a nice soft one. It wasn't too crazy. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, I will touch on one more thing, which is to do with what you said before about the pumpkin patina watches and all that. There was that one watch which I don't quite understand the too much patina thing. I think the light patina, gives character to the watch. I can get around that. The exorbitant pricing attached to it, maybe not so. But we saw this listing which was absolutely cooked. I don't know if you remember that one. The bezel
The
was cracked. The watch itself was dirty. There was just
Yep.
dirt everywhere on the back of the
Yep.
watch, and around the watch, and between the bezel and the case, so obvious in the photos, and I was just like, wouldn't you clean the watch before you put the photo? And it was $16,000 Aussie dollars.
Patina, patina.
Yeah,
That
too much.
gunk, that gunk, that that jam that's
Uh,
lodged in the crevices of that crown and in the
oh,
bezel.
I'll put this question out there before we go to something interesting and wrap it up to the listeners. When you buy a watch secondhand, do you do a full clean of the watch? Do you do the wipe? Do you do the thing? I'd be interested to see. Because I do. I do. I will get the wet wipes and get a little Q-tip to get around the especially if it's a vintage watch because you know it's seen some things just to give it a bit of a clean before I chuck it on
That's
and
so interesting. I never thought of that. And you know what? I was thinking about this the other day, like with the watches that I've bought recently, like did I clean them? I know I cleaned one of them. Have I cleaned them since I've worn them?
yeah,
I don't know. Like I think I put them just straight on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Th th
that's a good point.
This is where, if any watch cleaning kit companies want to sponsor the podcast, yeah, go ahead. I don't think they will after well, don't listen to this podcast if you want. But this particular episode, yeah. Anyway. All right, let's wrap it up. Good chats, great
Great chat.
bants, great bants as
I need to
always.
tell this story. I need to tell this story.
All right, let's go do something interesting. Tell us a
Yeah.
story.
All right. So settle down, children, and get your warm cup of cocoa. So, like speaking about this, Jeannot, and I was enamored by them for the longest time. I joined the forum. I got to know a few people in the group, and subsequently, an Ocean Rover 2 comes up for sale. Pretty good condition, and I PM'd Juan, and Juan said, "Yeah, it's available, and I'm happy to ship it to Australia." So, like, I mean, I was talking to you at the time, and you were like, "Oh, do you think?" Like, it was this whole emotional thing of
Mm.
I'm getting this watch sent across. Anyway, little did I know that it was going to lead to such a dramatic story in AAWF. So I get this watch, right? It comes out, and I've gone through the story. I was less than impressed by. Well, I was impressed, but I wasn't really that impressed. So, yeah, like it was a day and a half later, it goes up for sale. I get a message from I don't know if I won't name members, but a member in the group, and she was an absolute pleasure to deal with. Like I she asked me a price, I gave it, and she gave me $10 more. Like, and I told you, my list price is never really my end price. Anyway, so what the hell am I going to buy in the meantime? A day later, this Olympia and a Neptune come up for sale. And I look at it, I sent it to you, and I'm like, Praka, this is like a golden opportunity. And you're like, yeah, jump on it, bro. And I was like, hang on, this guy's a new member. And then you said to me, Pablo, this guy's account's like 3 days old. Is this a scam?
Mm.
And I'm like, shit, maybe it is. So I slip into this guy's DMs, and he's legit. He's telling me, yep, yep, I'll send it to you. I'll take a photo, take this, do this, I'll set the time, whatever. And in that time, he went cold. So I didn't hear from him for like a day for a day and a half. And so I said, chatting to you at the time, Praka, this guy's gone quiet. Like this is a scam, isn't it? And then I get this message after I tell you this, I get this message instantly saying, yeah, I'm happy to send these watches to you and you can pay me later. And you were like, bro, that's the deal of a century. And I was like, nah, man, that's a scam.
I don't know how he's scamming me, but it's a scam.
But it's a scam because like I thought like, oh, I sent you the watches. Did you get them? No, I never got them. Well, I
Yeah.
sent you the watches. Give me the money. Like, no, I'm not gonna
Mm.
send you. Oh, and then you get into this argy bargy. Anyway, so I messaged the person that I sold the Jeannot to, and I said, hey, would you mind doing me a favor? Like, what do you think? Have a look at this. And she was like, Absolutely not. I wouldn't be touching that with a 10-foot pole. And then and then there was another guy that PM'd for the Neptune because I was only interested in the Olympia. There's another guy that was interested in the Neptune, and I saw him in the comment section, and I was like, "Hey, mate, is it all right? Have you been interacting with this bloke?" And he goes, "Yeah, but it's too weird for me. No friends, no history, no this, no that. So it's going to be a no from me." I
Mm.
said, "Would you mind leaving this with me for a minute?" Anyway, so old mate PMs me back to say, "Yeah, let's sort this out." And I said, "Listen, like this is just too sus. Can we arrange a call?" Took about a day of slow messages back and forth. And at 8:30 at night on a Tuesday night, I call him on Facebook Messenger. Lo and behold, he answers. And can I say that Tom, as his alias is, absolute ripper of a bloke. We spoke for about 45 minutes, and I think we only spent about 5 minutes looking at the watches. And what was so interesting, what was a giveaway to the security of this guy, if that's the safety of this guy, whatever it is,
Mm. Mm.
was that he was wearing a Laurier Falcon as he's showing me the Olympia and the Neptune, and so he's telling me about the Falcon and how it's changed his life from high-end luxury brands to the micro brand space. And I was like, man, you need to speak to Praka. He's like up on this, and you need to listen to his podcast. He's like, tell me about his podcast. Oh man, that sounds like a good podcast. And then he's telling me about his watches, and we're chatting, and he's like, Paul, we sorted out a deal. And I should say that part of the deal was buying the Neptune as well, because I hit up the other bloke and I was like, man, if I can sort this out, like,
Mm.
do you like I'll get him sent to anyway. I sorted something out with that, mate. And anyway, so I get the Laurier and the Neptune, like it was long weekend, so I get it on the Monday, and I was just it it was such a good experience because I bought the Jeannot. I got to meet one person who's an absolute ripper of a person to know in the forums. And you know it when I mentioned her name to you, you're like, oh yeah, she's a legend. Anyway,
Mm.
so she and then when I spoke to the other guy, like in the space of 5 days, I'd gone through three watches and connected with, half a dozen people, all off the back of, this distaste for not Laurier, distaste for Jeannot. Um, but it was such a good experience, and I just want to give a shout out to Tom. I told him I'd share the podcast to him once it's up and running. But it was such a good experience, and this is what I was sort of alluding to throughout the podcast, which is, I look at this Laurier and it evokes a feeling, and then someone in one of the divers forums, or no, it was the League of Micro Brands, or whatever that one is, posted his Olympia Series 2, which is basically the same, just with
Yeah.
very similar. And it just like I looked down at my watch and I was like, far out, it's such a nice watch. Like, it's such a good watch. And I connected, bonded, is that the word
Yeah.
that they use
Yep.
in
Yep.
forums?
Bonding. Yep. Yep.
No, it
Yep.
was really good. So yeah, that's my story about the Laurier. I ended up selling and not selling, forwarding on the Neptune to the other dude, and he was really happy with it. I mean, they were practically brand new watches. Thanks, Tom, for taking good care of it and paying GST on the way in. Uh, interestingly, we had a bit of a chat about a few other watches, and subsequently, he's put Trasker into my head. And you've been trying for years to get me on the Trasker
Thank
bandwagon.
you. Thank you.
Uh, and like, I don't know why. I think you just got to hear it from someone else sometimes. It's like when you're having
Mm.
a discussion with your wife and she tells you the same thing so many times, and you're like, no, no, no. Then like some random tells you something, and you say to your wife, oh,
Yeah.
what about Trasker?
I
And then
told you.
exactly. So if
But
anyone has a Trasker freediver, I'm I'm looking. I'd love to at least handle one. But no, it was a really good couple of weeks, considering I don't really trade too much.
No.
And yeah, it was a really fun couple of weeks within the forums and within the watch space. Such a good experience
Mm.
and fortunate to be in that community. Yeah,
No, I think it was, yeah, fantastic story. Very, how do you say it? An odd one
really
indeed.
odd. I had
But
a hunch, man. Like
you
who
did
the who
because
the
the
hell
yeah.
is going to be selling secondhand like a pair of Lauriers?
Mm,
Like
mm,
who's going to be scamming that? Like
yeah,
it just
yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
as sus as it was, it just didn't add up. Anyway.
But that said, please follow all the guidance and the rules around buying
Ah,
around secondhand forums and asking for all the right questions, video calls if you feel it, etc. But which you did. You did go through due diligence.
ah,
It was
I
just a
was so
crazy
nervous.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm
But
glad it all worked out.
Tom is not his real name, but he's a standout guy, and I look forward to seeing him more around the forums. Yeah, we spoke about a few forums. But yeah,
For sure. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for sharing. I guess I'll wrap up with, well, speaking of Trasker Freediver, I did see a Trasker Freediver, which I sent you the photo of. So last week I went to a Red Bar WA event at this cool place. It's called Fire and Time. And yeah, it was awesome. There was all sorts of sculptures, paintings, and cars and stuff there as well, in like this garage. And it was just really cool to check out. And of course watches and good people, chatting to
yeah.
good people. And that
I
was,
saw your
yeah,
watch. You sent me your watch pics from that day. It was
yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome, and that's where I did see fellow Red Bar members Trasker Freediver, which I sent it sent on to Paul
That
to tempt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nah, that got me over. That night I put a want to buy post out on the forum, and like I
Uh,
wasn't. I What is it about Trasker? They're just not enough around,
I
right?
I
I don't
think
know.
there's a lot more of the summer tiers and the venturers than the free divers. I think the free diver is a bit underrated compared to their other models, but yeah, no, it was a good event. It was awesome. I always encourage the listeners to go, find your local chapter, find your local enthusiast group, and to go and see people and chat watches with people. I think that, watches is often the catalyst that gets people together, but at the end of the day, it's a great social aspect. It's a great way to connect with people,
Mm.
to enjoy. Yes, you have this thing that intersects, your hobby, but it starts off like that, but then you end up, yeah, I mean, I've made some really good friends. I'm talking to one guy right in front of me right now through this hobby, and watches is central to it, but sometimes it isn't, sometimes it isn't.
Nah.
Sometimes you're chatting about anything else. So yeah, it's a good way. It's a good way.
What do they say? You should never talk about politics
Yeah,
in with people, and I do it with you all the time.
it's literally what we talk about half the time. But but anyway, on that note, that's it for today's episode.
Great session. Thank you so
Hope
much.
no worries. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Always a pleasure. I hope all every listeners enjoyed this episode. This is part two of who knows. We'll do it again. I know we'll do it again. And hopefully there's not too many complaints from this episode, but if there is,
If
yeah.
there is, come get some.
No, if there is, you can direct it all to, I'll link Paul's Instagram so you can send it to him. No. All right, well, there's nothing else. We'll leave it right there. Cheers.
Thanks, man. Good to see you.
Thank you for listening to Overtime the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. You can find us on our Instagram at Overtime the podcast, at Kinda Average Watches, or flick me an email on overtimethepod@gmail.com. I appreciate your support and value your feedback. If you have any questions, suggestions, or topics that you would like the podcast to cover in the future, please hit us up. Until next time.